everybody. Welcome back to Surface Noise. I'm John. So for today's video, I'm going to be talking about one of my top 100 albums. This time featuring The Cure. This is The Head on the Door from 1985. Now for a little background, if you're not familiar with the band, I know they're fairly popular, fairly well known, but you never know. So they started out around late 70s. I think their first record, this is the first one at least in the UK, it was Three Imaginary Boys. I think that was 1978. Let me give you another good look at that one. Just a trio at the time, Robert Smith, and Michael Dempsey and Lawrence Tolhurst, or Lol Tolhurst. So they were kind of they had kind of different songs at the time, coming out of the sort of like, I don't know, it was a lot of punk rock going on then, and getting into post-punk fairly soon after that. So these, they had songs like Boys Don't Cry, 10:15 on a Saturday Night, Kelly and Arab. So some songs were catchy and poppy, some songs were completely different. It was just all over the place. So yeah, in North America you might have seen this one instead, Boys Don't Cry. They had, this one's a little different than this. Has a lot of the same songs, but this one includes a bunch of singles that came out in the US and Canada, and they added that and then sort of made their own sort of hybrid album out of it. So yeah, you might have, because this doesn't have Boys Don't Cry on it. This is just, yeah, I don't even know what the main singles. Oh, 10:15 on a Saturday Night are probably one of the bigger ones on this. They also do a cover of Foxy Lady by Jimi Hendrix. So yeah, a little, not what you expect if you've only heard their later things, but gradually after that start, they got into 17 Seconds and Faith, which got a little more dark and moody. Pornography as well, same idea. Still occasionally had some more poppy songs, but the darkness, there was more slightly darker music. And then before this came out, in '84, Robert Smith he'd recorded The Top, and it really only had him, Lol Tolhurst, and drummer Andy Anderson on it. He'd released a bunch of singles. He was also in Susie and the Banshees at the time, so he was recording with them, he was touring with them. He was officially a member of both bands. He did The Glove with Steve Severin, the drummer, because Susie and Budgie did the Creatures side project, so he was doing that. So he was pretty busy at that time. Eventually he did leave Susie and the Banshees as a full-time member, and then started working on this album. For this album they had Simon Gallup came back. He was a bass player. He played on, I believe, 17 Seconds, Faith, and Pornography, but had left. Most of the band had left, to be honest, in that time frame. So he returned. Had Boris Williams on drums, and Lol Tolhurst was still on with keyboards, and then you also had Pearl Thompson, actually, who was playing guitar as well. He had played with them a little bit before, but yeah. So that was the lineup for this album, right here. And yeah, this started off with In Between Days. That was really the song that got me very interested in The Cure. The only thing I'd seen or heard before that was Love Cats, which didn't really inspire me that much. It seemed kind of goofy. Doesn't, and especially when you look at the material they put out just before that in, you know, the early 80s, it didn't really match up with that. It was pretty goofy type of track. So wasn't enough to, it was interesting, but not, you know, didn't get me super hyped up on the band. So yeah, In Between Days, I saw that video and it was like, holy crap. That was the video and the song, and it just kind of like, the melody of that was amazing to me. You know, really, really, really catchy tune and great rock song. So this has, to me, this just has 10 amazing tracks, and I think it, to me, I think it's the most consistent, and maybe the most varied in the same realm. I mean, it's consistent in quality, but it's varied in style. I mean, Kyoto Song has kind of, I think it's Kyoto Song that has sort of the flamenco guitar sound to it, and then The Blood's kind of a slower track, not slow, like medium track, because In Between Days, Kyoto Song, a little bit more hyper. 6 Different Ways actually uses the same piano riff that he wrote while he was with Susie and the Banshees for the track Swimming Horses. Now the songs don't really sound that much alike, but you can hear that piece, that piano sort of riff that he uses. You can tell that it's the same thing for both, but the songs do sound totally different. 5th track on there is Push, which is just a, yeah, another good rock song. It starts off mostly instrumental for about half of it, and then it goes into the actual melody and singing and stuff at that. Side 2 has The Baby Screams. Close to Me is the 2nd track on there, which is another single. You might know that one even more so, because they've got the whole video where they end up in the box. And I think they're at the bottom of a cliff or something. It's a fairly famous video, pretty interesting, and they've done a bunch of remixes on that. There's a lot of cool versions of that. Album finishes up A Night Like This, which I always thought was a single, but wasn't, turns out. Screw, and then Sinking. And Sinking sounds a lot like what you would hear from them, I think, in the era of the 17 Seconds and Faith. Very slow, moody, kind of dark track. So yeah, overall, this is, I mean, this is my favorite, to be honest. And I think it's very consistent. You can see the label there. This is a North American pressing, Canadian pressing, I guess. One of the few. Most of my records by The Cure are actually UK pressings, but I haven't been able to find one of this yet. And I do have a nice lyric sheet. Very hard to see that. Dark blue on black isn't maybe the best choice, but I guess that's what they went with. So anyway, this is my album for top 100 albums. The Cure, Head on the Door, highly recommended. Like I said, I think it's the most consistent record that they might have. So there you have it. Hope you enjoy the video. I usually get a couple of videos out a week. If you like this sort of thing, please feel free to like and subscribe. It helps the algorithm, helps me grow the channel. All right, that's it for today, and I hope everyone has a great day, and I'll talk to everybody next time.